I need to go to Universal. So Mother Nature's just dumped about 18 inches of snow on us here in the Northeast, and life has just been lifing. So it's time for a break. I need to get myself back to Universal Studios Orlando. So it's a great time to go. Mardi Gras season is just kicking off, which is one of my favorite times at Universal. It's a great time with food booths featuring culinary food from all over the world. You've got the parade, you've got the beads. It's just a wonderful time. One of the best things about Universal Studios Mardi Gras is the discounted food cards. Now, for pass holders, we can buy $150 food cards for just $120. And now when we go to use those cards, we still get our discount off the food we're buying before we even pay with our discounted cards. And the cards don't expire. They're good forever. You know, you can bring them back, use them at HHN, Grinchmas, whenever you go back. So I thought in the spirit of those discounted food cards and just my need to get away quick and get away as cheap as possible, that I was going to do a video about how inexpensively I can put together a trip to Universal Studios Orlando. So this time around, we're not going to see signature hotels. We're not going to be seeing express passes, but we're still going to have a good time. So we're going to look at our value hotels. We're going to look at flying with points. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And we're just going to have a good time. We're still going to do fun things, though. We're going to spend a little bit of money, maybe go to Epic Universe one day, do Ride and Dine for the experience. If you don't know about that, we'll talk about that. So come with me as we see how cheap I can get to Universal as an out-of-state pass holder. Well, the first thing we're going to need is a hotel room. So this time around, we're not going for the signatures, the top of the line. We're going to go for just the best value we can find. So the way you do it is you pull out the app on your phone or the website for the pass holders, because again, we are going by pass holder rates. And I'm going to click on, let me go back, there we go. I'm going to click on check rates. Then what we do is go ahead up on the top there, we enter the dates we're traveling, and we're going to come for, I think it's the third week of Mardi Gras, the 23rd to 27th. One guest, one room. And let's see what kind of offers we get. Now, even though I am going for the budget, I'm going to take a quick look and see what everybody's offering. See, we're going to have Dockside Surfside around 125, Cabana Bay around 180. Sapphire Falls can sometimes be nice, but now it's already in the 400s. And let's just take a look down here. Portofino Bay 752. That's crazy. Yeah, so we're going to stick at the old Endless Summer. I think we're going to go with Dockside just because it's a little bit bigger, a few more amenities like the bar and the lobby and stuff like that. And we are going to go, we'll splurge a little bit. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves that pool view room. Reason being, you know, when you are staying at these slightly off-property hotels, you could end up with a view of the highway or the major road or a shopping center, and I'd rather kind of immerse myself in that bubble. So we're going to sign in and get ourselves all booked. And when you're all done, you'll get a confirmation screen that looks something like this. Well, now that we have a place to stay, the next thing we're going to need is a way to get there. Now, this is not financial advice. Please don't take it as such. Uncle Mike is not telling you to run up a bunch of credit card debt. However, I'm a big believer of having points cards that make sense in your life. So I have the JetBlue points card, and again, I'm not endorsing JetBlue. They're not paying to be anything like that. Just they tend to have the most consistent flights out of my local airport to places I like to go, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and such. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at booking through JetBlue using my points, because right now I have plenty, which should get us back and forth at a very, very reasonable rate. So again, we're going to pull up the old handy-dandy smartphone, navigate to the airline of your choice. For me, it just happens to be JetBlue. And I'm also going to recommend, and again, it could be different for any airline, I try to avoid booking round trip, because if there is any kind of changes you need to make, it is more complicated changing a round trip flight versus one flight. So I'm departing Hartford, heading to Orlando on Monday, February 23rd, and I'm looking to use points, and let's search and see what we got going on. And it's going to take a second and load up. And here we go. So we got the 6 a.m. flight, and a lot of times I do like that 6 a.m. flight, But I'm not going to leave that early because I do have to wait for some coverage from my dog. So we're going to look at that 11 o'clock flight, getting us there just after lunchtime. And that's not too bad because, basically that's when, check-in usually starts around, I think it's technically 4 o'clock, but you can usually get a room in early afternoon. So we are going to look at that. And so we're going to use 20,000 points and $5.60. And we're going to look at selecting our seats. So the nice thing about it is you do have a card with the airline. You usually get a couple perks. So I can pick my seat. I usually take the closest one to the front that's available. Get that first boarding group if I can. I used to be Mosaic, so I could upgrade to those orange seats up there for no charge. So maybe we'll take that row 10 on the aisle. Maybe we'll take a window seat. Let's take a window seat. Might as well. All right, extras. So the next few steps are going to be about booking, your checked bags and such. And again, usually if you do have an airline's card, they'll give you one free checked bag, which is a nice little perk. And again, this isn't financial advice. This is just what I like to do. And like I say, it has paid off. In the 6 or 7 years that I've had the JetBlue card, I've probably been to Florida either by myself or as part of a couple, probably 8, 9, 10 times. And there has only been, I think, 2 occasions where I actually had to come out of pocket to pay for the flights where there isn't, there hadn't been points available. Just kind of using the points I have available, running the bills I can through the card. Again, those double points at the grocery store, so on and so forth. Then you get a confirmation page. Looks something kind of like this. So again, we had some points, $5.60, and they tell me thank you. At the time I booked this, I was still Mosaic. Now they're going to try to sell me some vacations, which I don't want. So now we got to get back. So we're looking at coming from Orlando to Hartford on Friday the 27th. And let's search that one up. On the way back, we look for a later flight because, we can enjoy the parks, have lunch at City Walk, and not have to rush to get out of there. So this 8:05 p.m., it's going to get me in kind of late. It'll be getting in just past my bedtime. But also these later flights can be a little less expensive. So on the way down, it was almost 20,000 points. Coming back, it's only going to be about 11,000. So we're going to take that blue fare, which gives us free seat selection, gives us our checked bag because we are a JetBlue card holder. And there we go. And let's see what we can get for seats on this one. All right, so the seat selection is loading up. And again, we're going on the cheap. Sometimes I will pay to sit in those up front seats, but again, we're trying to do this on the cheap. So I think we're going to go row 8 right there on the aisle. So when they come by with the snacks, I'm right there. And I can get my snacks. We're going to get our free checked bag. Again, at this point, it was telling me I have 2 checked bags. I was Mosaic as I was booking this. By the time we travel, I will no longer be Mosaic, so I'll only get the 1 checked bag, and that's okay. 1 checked bag, 1 carry-on, and a personal bag is generally enough for me. So again, we're just going to go through, put in our credit card information, which I really don't have to because they've already got it, because it is their credit card. And when we're all done, we should get a confirmation screen that looks something like this. So now we've got our stay booked, we've got our flight booked, and we're still under $600 for this trip. Now the nice part is I don't have to worry about park tickets because I'm a pass holder, but I did tell you I did want to do some fun things. I really only have screen grabs of this, but my pass holder discount got me 1 day at Epic Universe on a Wednesday for just about $140. Okay, so now we're at I think it was about $560 for the hotel, $12 for the flight, $140 for a day at Epic. So now we're $700. So if we could keep it under $1,000, that's amazing to me. So one other thing I did spend some money on, I did purchase a Ride and Dine ticket. Again, with my pass holder discount, was just under $115. And that's going to give me a nice 3-course dinner and a fun trip out on the float, which is one of the most fun things you do on Mardi Gras. Now, not sure exactly how to include this in the trip, but I am going to buy my whole year's worth of Mardi Gras food cards while I'm on this trip. And this is my cat, Apsro, trying to get involved and get on camera. Say hi to the people, Apsro. But basically, I think I'm going to do a follow-up video. I can kind of give you the final totals because obviously I'm going to spend some of those gift cards, right, for my eating while there because I do want to eat all that Mardi Gras food booth food and let you all know how I felt about it. But I think, if we can be mindful about how we buy our food and cocktails and such, we might be able to keep this trip right around that $1,000 mark. Now, there's going to be 2 trips through Uber or Lyft. I always go to whatever's cheaper, and it's usually about $40 each way. So we've got, again, about $560 for the hotel, $12 for the flight because I used points, so that's $572. We then have we'll call it $80. Let's round up, and we'll tip nice. Let's call it $100 in Ubers. So that still leaves us a nice budget of a couple $100 to eat. And we'll probably exceed that $1,000 now I think about it. Even if I do eat mostly food booths, which are really inexpensive meals, but I'm going to eat a lot of them. If I stay out of those nicer restaurants, we can possibly keep it to that budget, but I do want to eat a little bit. So, but when you think about it, if I'm staying at a signature resort, that can be over $300. Oh, it is generally over $300 a night. So what I'm trying to do is just do this whole trip for less than what I would normally spend just on the hotel. And I think we're going to be able to pull it off. So I think I might do this little follow-up video when I get back. Just a little quick one to show, okay, hey, here's what it was. And some other fun things we're going to be able to do is I've never stayed at Endless Summer before. So I'm kind of excited to check it out because I think it is really nice for the value. And I've seen a lot of good reviews. But we've also seen some things that might be, it's a little noisy, little overly heavy on the kids staying there. We're going to check it out, give you a review on that. We're going to give you a review on all of the food booths. So if you want to check that out, that'll be coming soon when we get back. In the meantime, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. It's a free thing you can do that really helps me out. And we'll see you when we get back from Mardi Gras Universal.